I revised the program of this session before coming up to you. So the problem with the vitiligo is the aetio-pathogenesis. It's complicated. Vitiligo is a very strange disorder with a history in dermatology, more than 1,000 years of talking about vitiligo. We always start with treatment, and then we discovered how this treatment works. Treatment, most of the cases, was discovered accidentally, maybe apart from the JAK inhibitors. The aetio-pathogenesis is so sophisticated. I thank Dr. Reinhardt. He talked seriously about it, and we thought that we understand some of the factors, and now Dr. Laila came and added something new that never crossed our mind in segmental vitiligo. There is a genetic tendency in 30% of the cases. Yes, this is an old observation, but the new thing is that this genetic coding comes to stimulate the autoimmune reaction against the melanocytes. The neurogenic mechanism was always incriminated in segmental vitiligo, in vitiligo aggravated by sarcogenic factors, and we may add to segmental vitiligo now the varicella zoster virus, as Dr. Laila highlighted. Too many factors implicated in the aetio-pathogenesis of vitiligo, and many theories after heavy research were done. They are all respectable, but we come to the conclusion that the oxidative stress activates the gamma interferon JAK STAT pathway, and there are many factors working to stimulate the autoimmune reaction against the melanocytes. You see humoral cell-mediated combined, and you see the association of vitiligo with other autoimmune disorders like thyroiditis. So the final common pathways go through the immune reaction and the melanocyte death. These are the two major factors. Clinically, for simplification, now it's segmental vitiligo or non-segmental vitiligo. Some are mixed and some are rare forms. And the treatment, therefore, should be directed to suppress the immune reaction and to stimulate melanogenesis again. I think Dr. Albert, yes, Dr. Albert referred to the paper by the European Academy, the EDV, and the consensus. They stress upon using the topical treatment first, and then adding phototherapy, and the third line is grafting, as Dr. Albert highlighted. Other lines of therapy, topical calcipotriene. The hyaluron-nevi, yes, everyone is speaking about the surgical treatment of stable vitiligo, as Dr. Albert highlighted. Let me give you a small hint from our old professors. In vitiligo, as any other skin disease, by the way, uncover to discover, uncover the whole body. And if you find a hyaluron-nevus, kindly take the permission of the patient and remove it. This may be the initiation of an autoimmune response during the vitiligo in the patient. And then systemic immunosuppressive therapy, as both Dr. Thierry and Dr. Albert highlighted, to stop the progress and to start the repigmentation in some cases. And the newly discovered JAK inhibitors. It's more than a decade now, research for the JAK inhibitors. So, not to repeat what they said, let me highlight this. Treatment of vitiligo over the centuries was discovered accidentally, and then they were searching how it works. In the year 1947, it's almost 75 years now, this honorable professor, Professor Abdel Mufti from Egypt, noticed that the Bedouins in the Western desert avoid a certain plant, and they use this plant, they take the seeds for repigmentation. So they avoid touching it because it works locally on normal skin, causing hyperpigmentation, and they use the seeds to induce repigmentation in vitiligo. So he went back through history books and found that both Indians, and Arabs, and before them, the Egyptians, they used this plant you see here the photo of it. And he took the seeds to cure vitiligo. The name sorrelin was derived from the Indian name of the plant. The name khillin was derived from the Arabic name for the plant. Professor Abdul al-Mufti in 1947 and his team succeeded in purifying sorrelin and started using it. In 1948, he succeeded in making the topical form of it and put the highlights for using it, the recommendations, the guidelines. This continued to be a major line of therapy for over 70 years for vitiligo. And the explanation is, sorrelin is a chromophore for the ultraviolet. It absorbs both ultraviolet A and B. It was used in treatment with ultraviolet A because ultraviolet A had a better penetration. But in poor countries like ours, when there is no facility, you can use it with daylight and take the solar energy, both ultraviolet A and B. He put the guidelines to use with a systemic form, and now less side effects than the crude seeds that both the Indians and the Arabs and the old Egyptians used. And he put the guidelines for the topical form. 2 ways in topical PUVA. One is local and the other is PUVA bus. Most of the people who use local PUVA, they use it in a wrong way. They have to apply the sorrelin for 15 minutes before being exposed to the sun, not put it while exposing to the sun. It does not work this way. Professor Abdul al-Mufti, 75 years ago, made that line of therapy that stayed for decades, and I believe in it, it's staying now. Now the sorrelin absorbs the energy and does 2 things. Stimulates the remnants of melanocytes present in the roots of the hair follicles or the periphery of the vitiliginous lesion, and works on the hyperactive CD8 positive cells. You all know that phototherapy, that the ultraviolet rays with or without sorrelin, has an immunosuppressive effect on the skin and has a stimulatory effect on melanogenesis. Normal. So it works in both. The 2 final common pathways for induction of vitiligo. PUVA can help to stop, repigment vitiligo. It's a major line of therapy because it works on both directions. How many minutes? For me. We have 2 minutes left. Now the JAK inhibitors. Everybody is talking about JAK inhibitors. You all know it. You know why it is called JAK? Who is Janus? Does anyone know here? Who is? Yes? Mr. Latino say? This is the God of 2 faces, the God for beginnings and endings. This is pathway with signal transcription and transduction through the plasma. It works from the signaling from the cell wall to the nucleus. It's a stimulatory pathway, and you can stop it by the JAK inhibitors, which are usually non-specific. The JAK STAT pathway is a non-specific stimulatory pathway. Too many research. I will not go through it. Khalas, alhamdulillah. And Professor Thierry stressed upon the safety of the JAK inhibitors. JAK inhibitors are here to replace the immunosuppressive therapy. And compared to other immunosuppressive therapies that we used to use before, yes, JAK inhibitors are safe and the side effects and problems are minor. Mind you, here JAK inhibitors work on the immune system. So, as Professor Albert highlighted, it should be combined with a phototherapy to stimulate melanogenesis. So, I'll leave you before my time with these lines for treatment of vitiligo based on the pathogenesis, on observation, and on the years of follow-up. Do not forget the PUVA and the phototherapy, and the future is for JAK inhibitors with phototherapy combined, and JAK inhibitors may have a better chance than biologics, as Professor Reinhardt said, because they will be more affordable. Maybe this will help to use JAK inhibitors than biologics. And that's it. Thank you very much.